Greetings. So, there's plenty of work to do with a comic book. Well, comic books, plural. There's plenty of them. Several projects in play. But I've been working on the writing. So, in the meantime, what I'm going to do here, I have plenty of these fine art comic book, or not, they're not comic book works, but they're related thematically, I suppose. But these projects have been sitting, malingering in stacks of papers. So it seems fitting under the current circumstances, before the world peels itself apart and comes undone, to properly finish these long-standing drawings. This one has a religious theme. There's quite a few pieces of artwork I've done that have religious overtones. Not specifically to any statement or declaration. Religion seems to be a relatively universal thing. And it seems kind of a thing, really, that perhaps the function of religion doesn't necessarily have to be theocratic or theological. That perhaps religion is so ingrained into the human psyche that those who pretend or prescribe themselves no religious faith at all still, by some extent, possess some form of faith. What's the so clever and universally praised statement, believe the science? Believe the science. I find it difficult to believe that people aren't capable of understanding the grand contradiction in that statement, believe the science. believe the science. It's like the notion of consensus. What wonderful grand ideas that have befallen mankind have ever been by consensus. Public stonings were by consensus. Witch burning was by consensus. Mob rule is by consensus. And one can conclude that consensus follows in line with groupthink. Perhaps not so much groupthink, but just a sense of acute tribalism. So you have a nation that legally codifies natural individual liberties. Legally. Now, granted, of course, history is full of mistakes and errors. Everyone makes mistakes and errors. History is full of mistakes and errors, and to condemn to acknowledge, of course, but to condemn the mistakes and errors of the past as some kind of personal affront. It's kind of a projection. The person making the condemnation might be suggesting in their act of condemnation that they're somehow better than the people of the past. That somehow, because a person is modern and current and in the now, that makes them somehow superior to people who lived 100 years ago. And this is not the case. And quite the opposite. An awful lot of people have committed grave, horrendous acts of inhumanity under the auspices that somehow they have transmuted their inherent human nature and become sublime and a better person. But that inherent tribalism is kind of built right into the human being. It's not groupthink so much, and it's not sheepalism. It's just the natural course of human behavior. Safety in numbers. Simple as that. Safety in numbers. And so, if the concept of groupthink is so rife, this need to have safety in numbers is so prevalent in society today, that indicates that there is no safety by standing out on your own, standing on your own 2 feet, on your own conviction. You're safe in sharing the conviction of the dozens of people behind you. Safety in numbers.